Hi everybody, Suguli. This is Degani D'Antone. I'm coming here directly right now to talk to you about my podcast, which is what you're listening to right now. This is the GetRready Podcast. I'm very happy that you came aboard right now. I am recording these and I'm just doing episode 1 right now to kind of give you a general idea of what the podcast is going to be like. Now, to start off with this, I just want to say that the podcast is going to be kind of like a slice of life podcast. I'm not really aiming for anything particular on some episodes. I just really wanted to talk to people because I believe there is a lot of people who have great stories, great ideas, and sometimes they don't sometimes maybe they're a little too shy, maybe they're not ready yet, but sometimes you can get a boost and other people can hear about these ideas and come aboard with them and help this person. So I believe it is a great thing to kind of get everybody aboard with it and help on. So the more people I talk to, the more better. So, of course, that's my cue to say to everybody, if you want to be on the podcast, yeah, I can definitely try and meet up with you. I can come meet you. We can meet up somewhere and do a great episode. I can range anywhere between half an hour to an hour, maybe even longer. I have done some episodes already that you're going to hear. I've done a couple, so they all range at different times. So none is all the same. But I just want to say, if you do want to be on the podcast, then just hit me up and send me an email at getready@gmail.com. Getready with 2 R's in the ready @gmail.com. That's how you can reach me. And even if you don't want to be on the podcast, you just want to ask a couple of health questions, nutrition, whatever like that, just let me know and I can help you with any way I can. That's what I'm here for. The second part I wanted to talk about when it comes to this podcast is I just want to go into that there aren't always going to be episodes where I'm going to be, say, talking with people. I'm never going to always just be on an interview, that's the main idea. But the other part to this is there's going to be episodes I'm going to put up, and they're going to be mainly just around nutrition and health and stuff I've come across, stuff I wanted to share with people, because I truly believe nutrition is the one thing that everybody's missing out on. There's tons of things we can learn, especially from eating food. Now, most people see food as just a way to get over their hunger or, just to get some energy. But truthfully, eating something can have so many benefits. It can go so far into everything that we do. Recently, if you haven't been on my Facebook page, my Get Ready Facebook page, there are certain things that people are not listening to. I'm sorry, not listening to, but I mean, they're just I'm trying to put up more stuff so people can actually see it, read it, and then hopefully take it into their lives and start using stuff with it. I mean, I just want to put out here something like oranges. You should eat some of the white pith of the oranges as well as the juicy flesh, because it contains high levels of fiber, useful plant chemicals and antioxidants that go into the body. Now, I know that may sound different to people or even just a little foreign at the moment, but if you take time to read into these things or even just go over some of the stuff, it's very important that you don't peel an apple and get rid of the skins, because that's where most of the fiber lives, and it helps the natural sugars in there get pushed through your body so it can help you. That's why it's important not to peel apples, and you should eat a lot of the white on the orange and some of the stuff that goes in it. Even when people put zest into their food from fruits and stuff, it's good. You can do it. I mean, even when you do people use lemons, they do the same thing. It's very important, I think, that people get across the ideas of nutrition and health and everything that we're doing, because it's something that I've recently really took upon to actually get into more and more and more and just try to learn more about it. I mean, to me, it's an endless road. There's never a finish line. It's just you constantly keep learning as you keep going. And that's the best thing you can do, is just learn from all this stuff that you're doing. I mean, I love the idea of every day I can learn something new about food every day. And even there's stuff you learn about one thing and then you go a step forward and you can learn this, and you learn even more about that same piece of food. There's so many healthy things to, say, pumpkins, eating pumpkins entirely, from the pumpkin seeds and everything, even down to when you learn more about almonds and certain type of nuts, like Brazilian to almond to walnuts to pistachios. They all have their health benefits that we could learn from, and then get more information. That way you can put them into your diet more and you get a full complex meal plan that includes everything, and then you can have like tons more stuff to go into. But like that's just part of it. That's just some of it. That's just some of the things that, I want to try and put on these podcasts as well. Now, I know some people may listen to this are probably thinking that I haven't done a lot on my YouTube channel. And it's true, but I have been really busy trying to get this podcast going. I was going around to get guests, I was trying to put all the stuff together, I had to get the equipment, and now that I have everything going and, you're listening to the first episode, it means that I'm going to go back to my YouTube channel to put up more healthy videos and stuff to go with that as well, because I think it's very important that I keep doing it, because this is just a love. This is just a passion. This is something I just love learning about, but even more, I love sharing it with people. Like I love just coming into a conversation and someone talking about something, maybe, oh, should I eat that? And I'm like, well, you could eat this because then it'll give you this, gives you this, you know what I mean? Like, and just to like learn about all that stuff. That's the most important thing I think that we can do. But a lot of people aren't taking it as seriously as I think they should. So if I can just educate just a little bit of people and help them any way I can, that's really what I want to do. That's really how I feel. So, I mean, that's just part of it right now, of how it all works. But I think it's probably important that I should just tell everybody that, let me just explain something. I started doing fitness and health like really seriously back in about 2013. I officially started doing this, and it was something that at the time when I went to college to do culinary management, I think I dropped about 20 pounds or so, because I was about 270, 268, something like that. And then I when I got out of school in 2000, I want to say 12, I actually, from the start of August to December, I put on about 20 pounds just working there. And I saw that I got to this weight level, and I was like, this isn't right. Like, I know I put on so much weight, because I was about 292, 293 when I started going in, when I started seeing these, I started putting on more weight, and I was like, I don't want to be like this. Like, this is something I don't want to do. So, I moved out of this apartment into these places I'm at now, and the place I live now has a free gym. So, in 2013 of January, I started going into the gym that they had here, where it's free. And when I eventually started going there, I started going there just for health reasons. I started going in there just to give myself, just to take some weight off. That's all I really wanted to do at first. That's all I thought. So I was just going in there to just work out to lose weight, and that's it. But then eventually it started getting to more. Like, I started noticing that it wasn't just something that I wanted to take weight off. It started to become enjoyable, like fun. Like, I started finding myself really enjoying working out, and I started like really finding myself enjoying doing all this. So I thought, well, this is great. Like, I'll continue to do this, and I'll continue to go out there. And then I officially started going further and further with it. So after a couple months, I started buying the magazines, and then the magazines started leading me to exercises and interviews with, champions of the past when it comes to Olympia. And as the month started to build on, I officially just started thinking, you know what, I'd like to go into bodybuilding. I'd really like to just, get big and muscular, and to like really get at it and see how far I can go, like to really push myself. So the first full year was just working out and really trying to. So that's where I started, and I thought it was pretty good. Everything I did was doing it first. So like that first full year was me just really experimenting with exercises and workouts, and like figuring out how to do this, how to do that. Can I do this? Can I do that? Is it possible? How much weight can I lift? How much can I go? And I think in a few months, I dropped about 30 pounds. And that was me at the start being in the gym for about 3 to 4 hours. Because I didn't have a personal trainer. I couldn't afford one or nothing. So I just was going into it, and I was just doing it on my own. I started learning everything on my own. All these magazines I read, all these things at first was just really about the workouts, about all that. I started doing that, and it was great, but then I hit like a plateau where I couldn't go any further. I couldn't find the reason why I was stuck at about, I think, 268, 265. I dropped back down to that much in that kind of that first full year, and I got stuck, and I was thinking, why am I not getting any, like losing any more weight? Why am I not getting any further? And of course, it finally started hitting me because in all these magazines I was buying, like Muscle and Fitness, Iron Man magazine, Muscle Development, and Flex, but I wasn't eating properly. That was the biggest issue. That was the biggest thing that came to me, is I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't looking at nutrition like I do now. So when I slowly started getting into nutrition, I remember I had this picture, this really early picture of the food I made, and I didn't measure anything. Like, I didn't know about that. Yeah, I didn't measure. I just put stuff in a bowl. I just put stuff in containers, and I was starting to eat it, and I was going around. Funny thing too is, at the start, I couldn't eat fish. Like, I could not eat cold fish. It was just like the most bland thing to me, and it's just so gross, and I couldn't get my head around it. Now I can eat like 2 pounds of cold fish every day if I had to. But so past that, I started learning more and more about the whole nutrition part, and that's what I came into, and that's what I got into. So that was the whole thing I had to do, was I had to learn more about that. So after the first year of just doing workouts and learning about that, I immediately got into the next round, which was nutrition. So the second year was dedicated to going into nutrition, and that was a really slow start. That was a really slow start to just me learning and learning and learning and learning all I can. But I was a weirdo because much as I love sweet potatoes now, I can make like sweet potato quiches and sweet potato biscuits, sweet potato lasagna, you name it. I can just turn sweet potatoes into a lot of things. But I was not eating sweet potatoes. For some reason, I just wouldn't give them a try. So that my first time to heavily go into nutrition was me eating a lot of rice. That was my biggest thing, was rice. I was eating a lot of rice. I would measure it out. So, but the measuring didn't come till later. As before, I was just putting stuff in containers and just taking them with me. So like, I would start learning more about, well, what's the best things to burn fat, to build muscle, and I started getting into more heavy of a bodybuilder diet, like the food. So I started eating a lot of protein. I did a high protein diet. So like, I was eating a lot of Greek yogurt, chicken breasts, turkey burgers I was making. Once in a while I would get a steak. And I wasn't eating fish yet, surprisingly. I wasn't eating fish at this moment. But at this time, I was doing huge portions. I was starting to learn more then about that part as the year went on, to going into measuring out all my food. So as I started measuring things out, I actually got to a point where I started like eating heavier or bigger meals, because I would measure out my food to be 6 to 8 ounces, mostly 8 ounces. And I would eat 8 ounces of chicken, steak, turkey burgers. Like, I'd make all this stuff, and then I'd do like a cup or two of rice, and it was a lot of food. And at that time, because I was trying to get big and like put on more mass and muscle, I was actually doing like I was eating about 5 times in a day, and each meal was always 8 ounces, whether it was steak, whether it was chicken, whether it was turkey burgers. And there'd always be a cup or two of rice, and there'd always be broccoli. Like, there'd always be a lot of broccoli and green beans. Those are the two vegetables I just really like put myself at. And the reason why is because both green beans and broccoli have a high level of fiber. Natural fiber inside those vegetables. So I would eat those a lot, and I would try to do a cup of those as well. So like, I had a lot of food that I would eat, and there's times I can remember where I didn't want to eat. Like, I really didn't want to eat. I was so like sick of the food. I didn't want to eat it, but I was forcing myself, because I knew that if I didn't eat this, I was taking a step back from my goal. And even missing, at the time, I put it in my head that even missing one meal could mess up my entire regimen. Like, everything I was working towards, it would mess up everything. So I had to make myself eat it. So I forced myself to eat these foods. And I could say that it actually did help, but like, I was actually like, then I actually did that for a while, and then I kept learning more about food. But like, that was the majority of it for that second year, was learning about nutrition. And as it kept going on and on and on, I was learning more about these foods, and I was just like, well, this is good and everything like that, but there's got to be something else. Like, there's got to be something else I can do. There's got to be something else I can like actually try. So I started reading up on nutrition and health and its benefits, that like, there's got to be something else I can do to this food to help me get over it, So I started reading all these people's posts, and I started visiting websites. I started visiting other people's things and learning more about, oh, you could do this with Greek yogurt. You can turn Greek yogurt into a sauce. You don't have to use, like sour cream or something like that, or something. You can use Greek yogurt for like dipping sauces if you add a little like sriracha in there and mix it up. And then it's healthy. It's a more healthier version. Or I add some kind of hot sauce. No calories, nothing like that. I started learning about hot sauces. They don't have calories. There's a little bit of sodium, which is perfectly fine. And I started just reading more and more and more. And the more I did with these magazines, those were my biggest sources at the time, was just like their nutrition, their ideas, their health. So then I started being like, oh man, like this is getting better. So from 2013 into 14, those 2 years, I was just really learning about nutrition and getting into these magazines. What are they doing? What are they asking? What are they offering? And then like I got a few books. I started buying some nutrition books and then learning about that kind of stuff and saying like, well, I could try this. I could do that. These recipes they're giving you were good, but they were just like a little hard to do because they ask for so much. And that's the problem, is I can see that some people are intimidated by recipes, especially like healthy ones, because they ask for like things you've never heard of or you think are alien or don't exist, and then they have these giant recipes of all this food. And the best thing to do when you're getting started into nutrition, especially in meal planning, is to keep it simple. That's what I did at the start, because that's all I knew, but that's just how you do it, is you just do chicken, rice, and broccoli. That's how you start simple. Then you have to slowly add into that. And that's what I started doing, because then you're going to get tired of that. And you shouldn't have to force yourself, like me, to get into it. You should just be like, oh, you look to enjoy the next meal. And that's what I do now. I enjoy the meals I eat now because I add so much flavor. But I still watch what I put in there, keep it healthy, and then watch the calories and the fats, the carbs, the protein that all goes in it. I constantly keep track of it, but I'm always making sure that everything is going to be enjoyable. Like I'm actually going to be like, oh, I can't wait to eat my next meal. So when it came down to all that stuff, I found that the recipes were getting too nuts. They're getting too crazy. Like there's some magazines that were like, oh, here's a healthy flank steak sandwich. Now that sounds good, but they have the marinade. And then they're like, oh, before you can cook it, make sure you marinate for about 12 to 24 hours. And make sure you do this and this and this and this and this and this. And it was like so many steps just to get to one little sandwich. And I was like, there's got to be something easier than this. Like, there's got to be other things. I started finding people who were making recipes that were like, who's got time to go crazy with all that stuff? Why don't you just like make your meal prep Sunday like everybody, and then just like start making all your food like in one shot, but make sure it's actually, easy and you could do a lot. So what I started doing was buying all my food and cooking it, but I would do like, salsa turkey burgers. So I'd add like some salsa to it and some black beans, some corn, add some stuff to them, make up really nice burgers. And then I'll put them in the oven, a whole tray of them in the oven. And I'd have burgers ready for a lot of days. Same with the chicken. I would start flavoring the chicken with some nice spices, garlic, onion, chili flakes, stuff like that. If I wanted spicy, if I don't want spicy, if I want to change it up with a little bit of turmeric, I would use turmeric. Like there's a lot of stuff you can change foods with and just like manipulate it to make it more healthier. To what's your goal? What do you want it to do? How do you want it to help you? And so I started doing all this. And this is where everything slowly started coming together, because I wanted it to be more, easy, but I also wanted it to like, I can get a lot of it when I do buy it, because I tend to buy all my groceries in one day, go back home and cook it all off right away, so I don't have it taking up a lot of room in the fridge, uncooked food. So I started doing that, and it started becoming more easy. And as the more I did it, the better I got at it. Like anything, you have to work at your craft in order to get better at it. So this is just something that was just coming to me at all times, and I was just like, well, this is, a lot better. I'm getting better at this. These chickens don't taste as bad. I started doing rice. I started doing turkey. But then I started making the things better. Like I started adding my rice with black beans, or like I just started mixing it with a sauce, or even just doing anything to it. Same with potatoes. I started roasting them more. And this is around the same time I knew I had to get better at cooking, so I would actually start doing sweet potatoes, but roasting them. I would actually start making them better so they wouldn't be that bad. Now, that was just one part. But as I got better in that second year at nutrition and learning more about recipes and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to say, it came to a point when I was like, you know what? I need something to challenge me. Like, I need to get challenged at this. I spent so much time learning all this stuff. I felt like I needed a challenge. So my thing was, there was a competition on bodybuilding.com, and it was called I think it was called the 200K transformation. And I did that. That was a 12-week from like January 4th, I think, all the way down to April. Like the first weekend of April, or the first Sunday of April, it ended in 2015. And I looked at it and I was like, hey, you can sign up for free. You can go in there, take a before picture and then an after. Even with all the nutrition stuff I was doing, I was probably about 260, 255 or something like that. Anywhere between there I was. And I was just like thinking, oh man, like I could try my best to get at this. I went out, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm sorry to people who don't agree with me, but I got supplements and they worked because this worked for me, but I knew how to use them. Just remember that, people who say supplements don't work just don't know how to use them. It's like anything. Now this goes down to this. When I did the 12 weeks, I got the supplements I needed. I got some multivitamins, some protein, some creatine, some glutamine, a bunch of stuff I packed up on just to get. I went in there, I did the 12 weeks, and I started. And it was really, honestly, the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. There's a lot of weird stuff I had to do in my life, or not weird, but just like complicated, hard stuff I had to do. And this was definitely the hardest because I was forcing myself to go, okay, you want to get better at this, Dagon. How do you want to do this? Here's how you're going to do this. And it really was a mental thing. I'm not going to stress to anybody. I can't stress enough to people that when losing weight, it's a really motivating thing. You have to constantly find motivation every day in order to beat it. Like in order to win at losing weight, like to get rid of it. Losing weight is easy. Keeping it off is hard. But like when you don't have motivation and you're not motivated and there's nothing getting you up in the morning to say like, hey, I need to do this, that's when it becomes difficult. That's when you need to understand, like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to get this done? I had the motivation to keep doing it because I was like, I want to do this. Like, obviously the contest, there was $80,000 on the line if you were first prize. But there was more to it than just money. This contest was just like, to me, I would constantly put in my head, I didn't want people to think that natives were fat and lazy, or there's some stereotype to us that were making us look that way, looking bad. So I wanted to change that, and I thought, well, I can do this. Like, I can change it completely if I just continue with this. So when I felt like I was falling off the wagon or I wasn't going that great, I switched it. I would constantly motivate myself every day by listening to these recordings that I had of people talking about what they wanted to do with their lives, how they were going to live. There was these motivational videos I found on YouTube and stuff that I would listen to, and those things got me through a lot. As soon as I get up in the morning at 6 o'clock, I would put them on. I'd put my earbuds in my ear and listen to these people talk till I got to the gym. And when I got to the gym, I'd put on some music and I would just work out. And like when you're doing 40-minute stairmasters at level 15, just like almost like you're running up the stairs basically, to just benching 225 to 250, and when you're like just pushing all this weight in a day. And those were the best days when I get to do it right in the morning, because then right after I'm done in the morning, I get home, take a shower, eat something, and I go to work. Those were the best days because I was never feeling tired. I felt accomplished. I felt like the majority of my day is gone already because I dedicated it to the gym. And I would go to work, do my job, come back, get everything ready, my pre-workout, my supplements, my protein powder, everything to go for the gym the next day, and it would repeat. And this was a dedication for 12 weeks to get this done. It worked out really well. And, by the time I was done, I think I lost about almost 50 pounds. Maybe about 48, 49. I lost about just 50 pounds in 12 weeks. And I pushed myself to that limit. And I have never felt more healthier, had more energy, more better in my life than losing all that weight. And I felt like I started to feel like how I did. I remember when I was about 9 years old, and I was just like, had so much energy to do whatever I wanted, and everything felt like, it was mine. It was all mine because I could do this. That was a dedication that went into that, and that's what exactly I had to do to get better at the gym, and kind of like at everything I need to do. So that's exactly how I got into all that. After that 12 weeks in 2015, I really started moving into a lot more nutrition and health, because in that 12 weeks I had my time away from the gym, or even if I had my days off from the gym and I wasn't at work, I would constantly just be looking up stuff. What's this like? What's this about? What's turmeric? What's its real value when you cook with it? When you use it, like how can I use it? What can it do? How does this work? How does that work? Like all that stuff. That's 2015. I can honestly say was probably the year that I really started turning to nutrition, where I wasn't just looking at it like how can it help me in bodybuilding, but like how can it help not just me but everybody. Because I felt like I needed to show other people that like losing weight is easy. It really is. It's not hard at all. No matter what anybody says, it's easy. You just got to be dedicated, disciplined, and stay to the plan. And I know that may sound like I'm asking a lot of you, but that's not. It's really, really not a lot to ask anybody. It really comes down to how badly do you want it. Like, do you really want to lose weight? And if you do, it will happen. But you just have to stay dedicated. You have to have these meal plans ready and set to go. That's all it really is. I know, like I said, it may sound like I'm asking a lot, but it's really not. I mean, the more I go on, the more I learn about nutrition, about, health, about foods that I've never had, but I put them in recipes and things like that. And, I got to say, like, the things I've recently been doing, I mean, I've had cauliflower pizza, and I got to say, like, I've never felt better eating pizza. And it's good. Like, it's really, really good. And I got to say, like, it's easy to make. It's fun to do. And it tastes great. And it's a good way to get in cauliflower, because I'm not a big fan of cauliflower, but I'll definitely eat it that way. I'll eat it as buffalo barbecue, cauliflower wings. I'll eat those as well. Those are delicious. And like cauliflower rice, cauliflower mashed potatoes. There's so many ways you can use cauliflower where you don't have to just eat it plain. And that's perfectly fine. And that's great. And I love it. But there's other things you can try as well. Like, I've also been trying to do anything I can to find more ways to be more creative and help people. I've been doing cooking. I've done cooking classes with youth, and I thought those went great. But I wish I could show them more of the nutritional side, because everything about health to me is prevention. And if it isn't about prevention, it's about reversing the effects that's on you. I've read tons of stories about people with type 1 and type 2 diabetes that have reversed the effects. Mind you, it's still with you, but it's not as major as some people have it, but it's because they control their eating and the exercise. Two things that people need to do more of when they get diabetes. And it's easy to reverse. You just have to stick with it and just say, you got to have something in your life that says, I want to stay alive because I want to see my children, my grandchildren, my family, my friends, whoever. I want to see them grow. I want to be with them. That should be enough for anyone to say they want to do it. And that's how I feel. I want to be around for everybody. I got a niece and I got a nephew, and I want to be around for them, and I want to see them all the time. I love my family, I love my friends, and this is just exactly what I'm trying to say, is it's good to help people that need this. So, like, there's tons of things that I think I want to keep trying to do. I'm going to keep trying to put up cooking videos as well for everybody else. And that's exactly how I'm doing it. I mean, even right now, as we speak, I'm in a 12-week program because I have put on more weight. And, it's not a big deal. I'll just cut it back down again. And then I'll cut down the weight again back to where I want to be. And that's all. And it's just something you just got to work with. I mean, like, my diet plan is good. Everything's great. I've been doing exercise and stuff. So I just keep it well. But I want to show people that after the 12 weeks is done, I'm going to show people the difference of, like, once you stick with a 12-week program and you work with it, it's not hard. You just got to stick with it and go around. Discipline and, motivation are two biggest things. And that's all. It's not that hard of a thing to do, people. I truly believe in everybody, and I want to help everybody. That's just how this works. But at the end of this all, I just really want to be there to say, do you need my help? But I truly also believe that it's a lost art, or even just a lost saying from people when they say, can you help me? I don't know why people don't ask for help anymore. You think it would be... Some people would ask. I mean, like, I don't have shame to say to people, can you help me do this? I think people need to relearn how to say that word, because it's something we all should be asking each other, not just for health, but whether it's like with our culture, with, our job, or even like, like helping with anything at your house or anything like that. You should be able to say, can you help me? And, like, I want people to start getting to that route again where they are asking each other for help. because like I said, I would love to help people, but I can't help people if they don't ask for it, because I don't know if people have an issue or have something wrong with them. So like, but I would be more than willing to say I'll do my best to see what I can do. I mean, I know I can be busy, and I know everyone else can be busy as well. So, but we can work together as long as we're together. We can all work together. So that's pretty much what I was trying to say, everybody. And I just wanted to give off my little story about how I got into all this and why I'm doing this, because at this point with this podcast, like I said, it's really just a slice of life, and it's really just something I want to just kind of explain to people that this is what it's going to be like. I'm going to be just talking with people, and I'm going to just really go around as much as I can and talk to people about their stories, about their lives, whatever. I mean, I truly believe everybody's got interesting stories, and I love listening to people tell stories about their lives, about the times they did stuff when they were younger, or anything they're doing now. It's just fantastic. It's always great to listen to. So with that being said, like I said, I'll give it again. If you want to be on the podcast, drop me an email at getready@gmail.com. Get ready with 2 R's in the ready @gmail.com. And just send it to me, and we can talk, or we can text, we can go over Facebook Messenger, whatever. Just if you want to get a hold of me and talk to me, that's perfectly fine. But don't hold back. If you really want to do this, let me know, because I really would love to hear your story, and I'm pretty sure tons of other people would be intrigued. I think it's also a great time that if people want to say something, like, because they feel misunderstood or something, that's, it's whatever you want. I just think of this as like a slice of life. I just like to hear people talk. And I want to revisit with friends. I want to talk with people, just get a lot of stuff to go and just really talk to people and how everything is. And I truly believe these stories can inspire other people into doing their own dreams or ideas or whatever they want when you hear some of these stories. It's really great stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I think that's pretty much it for now on the first episode of the Get Ready podcast. So, like I said, if I'll just drop it one more time, just to let everybody know, if you want to be on the podcast, just send me an email at getready@gmail.com. Get ready with 2 R's @gmail.com. And I will be glad to talk with you and see if we can book something together and see what can happen. This podcast, I'm going to release an episode every Sunday from now on. Today is being the first day, not just the first episode, but also the second episode as well. We'll be coming out today as well. So keep an eye out for both. Listen to both. Give them a look. And if you like what you did, just, get on it more. Just keep listening to them and tell me if you like them or not. Just let me know what you think. And if you want to be on the podcast, we can book something and get it all ready. And, I can come over and we can record and have a good time. So let me know what you think, people. Now, I think that's about it for now. So this is probably it now for the first episode. I just wanted to say thank you, and Yonko, for listening to the very first episode of the Get Ready podcast. There will be more to come, and I will try to release these as best as I can. I will go back to my YouTube channel and start releasing more videos on health and nutrition. I will go back to all the stuff. I was just doing a lot of other things, but now I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm going to start going back and getting back on all those again, because I know people want more videos. I want to make more videos. I want people to see these things. I want people to understand nutrition better and help anyone I can. And without that, sorry about that. I don't know where the heck I was going with that. Just blah, 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 blah. So anyways, that's all for now, I guess. And we'll see everybody next time. Stay tuned for episode 2.